Welcome back to Sissy Maya. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to never miss an update. Additionally, consider subscribing to my Patreon to get access to these features, and much more. After visiting a few more shops, we decided to head home. On the way, we passed a hair salon, and Lily mentioned, "Hey, Emma, I haven't been to the salon in ages. Could we go tomorrow?" "Sure, why not? David, you were pretty patient with us today. Would you mind coming along tomorrow too? I'm thinking of getting a cut and style." Emma added, "You know, you don't look like you've had a haircut in a long time. When I braided your hair the other day, I noticed how uneven it was, and your split ends are pretty bad. It would really improve your look to clean it up a bit." I hesitated before responding, sure, but you know, I was thinking of adding to my summery look by maybe bleaching it a bit. You'll tell the stylist what I need to get the right look, right? "Oh, definitely," Emma said. "I love that you're being so open and adventurous, Davy. I'll make sure they do a great job." With that, we went home, and I spent the rest of the day excited about the salon visit. At night, Lily offered to braid my hair for bed, and I happily agreed. It was much more comfortable to sleep with my hair in a braid, and I was surprised I hadn't done it sooner. I fell asleep quickly, enjoying the feel of the sheets against my smooth legs. The next morning, after showering, I noticed that my hair was looking great. It had grown past my shoulders, so I decided to brush it like Lily did after her shower. As I brushed in front of the mirror, I realized how great it felt, and it completely relaxed me. After I left the bathroom refreshed, I went to get clothes but found that my usual outfit was missing. "Ali, where are my clothes?" I called through the bathroom. She yelled back, "I'm washing most of them. I left out a white t-shirt and khaki shorts for you today." I replied, "I wore those yesterday," and she came walking in. After checking my drawers, she apologized, saying she'd meant to wash my clothes yesterday but forgot, so I'd have to make do with what I had left. I found a pair of semi-tight jean shorts I'd never worn. They were way too small for me and didn't even cover my knees, but they were the best I had. I also grabbed a yellow t-shirt that was 2 sizes too small, so the sleeves barely reached halfway down my arms. These would have to work for today. I wasn't too bothered by it, as I was in a great mood from brushing my hair and looking forward to the salon visit. I slipped on my heeled sandals and we headed out. We talked about hairstyles on the way to the salon, and just before we arrived, I mentioned that I'd always wondered what I'd look like with straight hair. After some cajoling, the girls convinced me to let the stylist straighten my hair just to see how it would look. I agreed, and we entered the salon. The moment I stepped inside, I was hit by the smell of hairspray and other hair products, along with a lot of feminine chatter. The salon had a very pink theme, and it was packed, except for 3 chairs at the end. Emma checked us in, and a woman greeted us warmly, leading us to our chairs. I sat at the end, with Emma in the middle and Lily on the other side. Soon, another stylist walked over to us and introduced herself as Rachel. She started by asking Lily what she wanted done, then moved on to Emma. When it was my turn, Rachel asked, "All right, sweetie, what do you want to do with your hair? It's a bit out of shape, but it looks like you take good care of it. We could do a lot with it. What'll it be?" Before I could answer, Emma jumped in, explaining what she thought I should get done. I zoned out, taking in the sights, sounds, and smells of the salon, only catching snippets of their conversation, like something about strawberry blonde, but I didn't pay much attention. Rachel began by washing Emma's hair, and 2 other younger stylists came over to wash mine and Lily's. The warm water and lather felt incredible on my scalp, and I quickly drifted into a state of relaxation. I could hear snipping nearby, but I lost track of time. After a while, Rachel came over to me and started running a hot metal pressing iron through my hair, which took some time. When she finished, my hair hung down smoothly past my shoulder blades. She then began applying something that smelled strong to my hair, working briskly. After drying my hair with a blow dryer, she rinsed it out again, then sat me up in the chair and began snipping away. She combed, sectioned, clipped, and cut for what felt like a while before finally letting my hair down, running her hands through it, and announcing, "Done." She turned me to face the mirror, and I gasped at the result. My hair was now long and straight, with more volume, and the back had been feathered. The front had long bangs that practically covered one eye and were just long enough to tuck behind one ear. Highlights in sweet-colored blonde streaks made my hair look bold and full of life. "So, what do you think?" Rachel asked. "Don't get too excited, though. This style can be brushed into different looks. This is just a particularly bold one. The bangs are long enough that you could easily divide them, and they'd hardly show. You'll need to straighten your hair every day to keep it like this, though, or it will return to its natural curl. But honestly, it's just one of many fun, hot looks you can create with this style. I know you'll love it." Emma smiled at me. "Is this what you were hoping for? It's so much better than that mess you had before." I managed to say, "Sure, yeah, it's great. Thanks, Rachel. You did an awesome job." But as I looked in the mirror again, between the bright yellow shirt, my neatly shaped eyebrows, and when I pushed my highlighted, feathered bangs out of my eyes, I noticed the long nails and wondered if I looked a little too feminine. On the way home, I barely said anything, except for a few compliments about Lily's newly platinum blonde, wavy hair and Emma's shorter cut with a long section that hung over one side of her face. When we got home, I slipped into my comfortable slippers and lay on my bed, feeling my new straight hair flow out in all directions. I just sat there, thinking for a long while, until Emma came in. "What's up, Davy?" she asked. I hesitated, then replied, "Emma, do you think what I've been doing, between the nails, the hair, the shopping, and the shaving, has been, I don't know, too feminine?" "David, I can't judge what you think, but personally, I think it's great that you're so conscious about taking care of your body and appearance. Honestly, if all guys were more like you, the world would be a much cleaner, nicer place. I find it so unattractive when guys don't take care of themselves, and while it's not common, I think it's awesome that you've been getting your hair cut, shaping your nails, and even shaving your legs. But at the end of the day, it's about what you think. Do you think it's too feminine?" My heart melted, and I knew I was sure of myself again. "No, Emma, I like the way I look. It feels so much better to be clean and well-groomed, and I can't believe I ever lived any other way. I don't think it's a bad thing, do you?" "No, Davy, I think it's wonderful. Let me know if you ever need anything, okay?" "Okay, ally. Thanks for all your help." I picked up a magazine, went outside, and read through it while wearing my oversized sunglasses until it was time for bed. The next morning, I woke up to find that my hair had regained most of its natural wave, but the bangs were still prominent, and the highlights were still visible. After getting out of bed and into the shower, I stopped abruptly when I noticed Emma waiting for me in the bathroom. She told me not to dry my hair and handed me a pair of boxers to put on. "I'm going to teach you how to straighten your hair," she said. "I don't think I really need to know that," I replied, but she insisted, just in case. "You might as well know how to do it. It'd be a shame if you had this style but didn't know how to maintain it. It's not hard to learn. Come on, let's go." A few minutes later, after sectioning my hair and running it through a pink pressing iron, I achieved the same sleek look my hair had when I left the salon. I was actually pretty pleased with myself since I had picked it up quickly, needing very little guidance. I spent the rest of the day reading magazines by the beach, enjoying the soft feel of my hair brushing against my shoulders and back. I could get used to this kind of relaxation, I thought to myself. That night when I went to bed, I had trouble sleeping again. I woke up in the middle of the night, unable to stand it anymore, and stumbled into Emma's room. She was awake, reading a romance novel, and looked over to me and said, "Hey Davy, what's up?" I'm having trouble sleeping again," I said, shyly. She responded, "What's wrong? How can I help?" I continued, "Well, I'm not sure you can help, but here goes. Well, the first problem is my legs again. I thought you shaved them. They look divine, by the way." She interjected, "Well, that's just it. They're a lot better, but now in comparison to the rest of my legs, my upper thighs, where my boxers cover is still too hot. I responded. Is that all? She questioned. No, it's not. My real problem is, well, a lot more embarrassing. I said with a frown. Davy, you can tell anything to me. Don't worry, I won't judge. Well, okay, here goes. My sheets have been bother my pointers. They rub up against them, and my pointers have been really sensitive lately, and that plus my legs overheating is really keeping me up, that's all. Can you help maybe? She looked at me sympathetically and said, Ooh, Davy, I can definitely help, but I'm not sure you are going to like it. I'll do anything. I can't sleep at all. Well, she responded, you could sleep in one of my panty cami sets. They cover your pointers so the sheets don't rub, and the panties will leave your legs fully exposed so they stay cool. Are you up for that? I cautiously replied, hey, I'll try anything once. If you are okay with it, that is. She said, with noticeable excitement, I really am Davy. Let me go get you a set. In about a minute she returned with what looked like a tight tank top and briefs but considerably smaller and without a V opening, both tinted pink. This is the most comfortable I could find. Are you okay with it? Sure, it's not like anyone's going to see me wearing it. I'll go try them on. After a few minutes, I came out of the bathroom wearing the garments, and exclaimed, these are so soft. Why don't guys wear these more often? I swear I could fall asleep on your floor right now. Thank you so much, Emma. I'm going to bed. Thank you again. Anytime, sweetie. You sleep well now. I will. Good night. And with that I went off to bed with my smooth, soft legs fully exposed by pink panties, and my chest covered by a soft, pink nighttime cami. The next day when I awoke, I barely wanted to get out of bed because I was so comfortable. My soft hair tumbled around my head, and my body was enveloped in tactile sensations between the sheets on my bare legs and the soft cami on my body and pointers. After finally getting up and showering, I put my boxers back on, but found that they felt like cardboard compared to the panties. I felt tempted to ask for another pair of the comfortable underwear, but restrained myself. I dressed in a normal manner, and noticed my nails had grown to be a bit out of hand. They were rather long now, almost 2 millimeters off the tip of my fingers, but they were losing their polish and shape. My toenails had gone unpolished since I started wearing the heeled sandals, and I was tempted to ask the girls when our next mani-PD session would be, but again, I resisted. I played on the computer for a little while, but quickly tired and went out to the porch to catch up on Teen Vogue. After a while of relaxing, I was joined by Lily and Emma. Hey girls, I greeted them warmly. Hey Davy, they said, looking at each other slyly. You two have something to say? I questioned. Emma responded. Well Davy, yes. I need a huge favor from you. After the way you have treated me over the past few weeks, it would be really hard to turn you down. You need something, you name it. What did you want? Well, there's no easy way to say this, so I'll just come right out with it. There's a huge party tomorrow, at one of my local friends' houses. She's already agreed to me bringing 2 guests along, but she won't budge on one detail. The party has to be formal dress. Yeah, go on. I responded. Well, David, you don't have a suit or tux. I can't leave you home alone, so you would have to come to the party. My favor is, I need you to go to that party as a girl. Now hold on. I interjected. Davy, wait, listen. You yourself said you looked feminine lately, and you have been doing some pretty soft things. Heck, last night you wore my panties. I don't want to force you, but if I have to I will. I have been so nice to you over these past weeks, like you said, and I think I deserve your help, just once. Please, Davy, for me? I paused. This was not what I expected. Emma had been incredibly kind to me, and I had been acting kind of girly. I knew I had to repay her somehow, and this was the easiest way I could see. All right, I'll do it. But you two can't make fun of me, okay? Oh, thank you, Davy. Thank you so much. We are going to spend all day tomorrow making you look so beautiful that no one will recognize that you are a guy. You'll see. That's what I'm afraid of. I mumbled as they rushed off to prepare. That night I wore the panty cami set again, and even with tomorrow on my mind, I fell asleep fast in its comfortable embrace. The next morning I woke up to Emma gently shaking me, saying, "Wake up, sleepyhead. We have a lot of work to do before tonight." I slowly rose out of bed, dreary-eyed, but aware of my surroundings. "All right, first things first. You need a girl's name. You pick, so we can call you that today and tonight. What do you like?" "Ah, I've always liked the name Nicole," I stammered. "All right, Nikki, Nicole it is. Nicole, go shower. You already use my hair products, so just do an extra good job this time, and I'll be in to help you with other stuff soon. Just holler when you are ready for me, Nikki." I hopped in the shower and washed myself off. When I was finished, I didn't get out, but called for Emma. She came in, and I covered myself. "Nikki, you are going to have to get over that if we are going to get through this. Just let me see it, and then we can be past it and get to work." I shyly uncovered myself, and Emma smiled at me. She took out a razor and said, "I'm doing this because I'm a pro. You have been doing a pretty good job, but you need my help to look like a real girl." She started by immediately and carefully shaving all the curly hairs around my inner thighs. I felt a little shame and a little remorse, but there was nothing I could do now. Once my genital area was smooth, she started on my legs. After a few minutes she was finished, with 0 nicks, and they were so smooth I was afraid if I touched them my hand would slip right off. Then, to my surprise, she shaved the hair off the surface of my butt cheeks and started on my back. After she finished shaving the very small amount of hair there, she moved on to attack the helpless peach fuzz on my chest. She even went as far as to shave my arms till they were as smooth as my legs. Now that I was totally hairless, she handed me a pair of underwear. It was a pink thong. She told me not to ask questions, and I slipped it on. I had a little trouble at first, but after I had pushed my member down beneath me it fit well, save the fact that it felt like a string stuck between my butt cheeks and my rear was totally exposed. She straightened my hair masterfully, curling it inwards very slightly at the ends to give it the effect of more significant body, and then she brushed it for a long time, making sure every hair was smooth, including making sure my bands sat perfectly over my face and tucked behind my ear. She then went to her room and returned with 2 skin-colored masses. Believe it or not, I was not always the voluptuous maiden you see before you, but I was always just as vain. These are what I used to wear to get the effect fake chests, almost a C-cup. I'm going to glue them to your chest with this special adhesive. They won't come off without the neutralizer. Ready? She didn't even give me a chance to respond before she squeezed the adhesive out onto the back of the chests and places the cold masses against my chest. After a little repositioning and some sort of makeup added, they looked totally real. Thankfully, they warmed up to my body temperature pretty quickly. Emma noted that they looked a little bigger on me than they used to on her, but quickly forgot that when she saw the condition of my nails. She said that this time we were going to get them done professionally, which meant we would have to go to the salon with my dressed as a girl. She took out a bra that matched the thong and wrapped it around me, fastening it in the back. It was low, pushing my chests up higher on my body, and very thin, practically see-through. Emma left the room for a moment, returning with my clothes. A pair of jean shorts that could hardly be considered shorts at all. The legs were so small and they were so tight that I was worried my underwear might peek out the bottom. To show off my gorgeous legs, Emma explained as I forced myself into them, and then she handed me a tight, pastel pink t-shirt with tiny cap sleeves that said pink on the front in capital letters made out of rhinestones. The words were skewed a bit by my new chests, but I hardly thought many boys would be trying to read the writing anyway, and girls would probably recognize the brand. I slipped into my 2-inch heeled sandals, grabbed my favorite sunglasses, and Emma, Lily, and I walked out the door. After a while, I started picking up what they called a proper feminine walk, striding in a near-perfect straight line, swaying my hips and subtly moving my arms. When we entered the salon, Emma checked me in and said, just one today, before leading me to the chair I'd occupy for the session. Then, she casually mentioned, "Oh, by the way, you need your ears pierced," and before I could protest, 2 girls appeared on either side of me. In the blink of an eye, I found myself with 2 small zirconium studs in my ears. After being briefed on the proper earring protocol, a station was wheeled over, and my feet were placed into trays filled with liquid. After removing my current nail polish, my hands were placed into similar trays, and my feet were taken out. During this process, the girls had gone over to a wall lined with color samples and returned with a bottle. The bottle was handed to one of the girls, who started clipping and filing my toenails. After some shaping, she began applying the color. I didn't get a good look at it until she had finished 3 coats on my toes and started working on my left hand. By that point, I saw that the color was a bright, scarlet pink. A little more filing and shaping, along with pushing back and clipping my cuticles, and she began painting my fingernails. She commented on how well I had taken care of my nails and how nice they looked. I thanked her in my most feminine voice, and the girls practically squealed with delight. Emma walked over and whispered to me, saying that my voice sounded great, incredibly convincing, and that she wanted to hear me talk like that the rest of the day. It wasn't long before my nails were fully painted. Lily told me my hands looked beautiful, like a model's, and I tried out my new voice again to thank her. After drying under an air jet for a bit, we left the salon and headed home. My bright nails flashed in the light, and my toenails glimmered with every step. I found myself moving with even more feminine grace. I felt like I was getting used to this new version of myself, especially since Emma and Lily were smiling at me the entire time. When we got home, it was already 5 o'clock. I asked the girls if they needed time to get ready, mentioning that they wouldn't take nearly as long as me. They then brought out my dress, and I have to admit, my first impression was that it looked absolutely magnificent. It had a medium neckline that would probably show some cleavage and a very low back. The color was a bright scarlet, matching my nails. The dress was cut above my mid-thigh, and I realized I would have to be careful not to give anyone an unintended show, since this was my first open-bottomed garment, and it was both short and tight. With a little help from the girls, I slipped into the dress, but I still felt almost unclothed. The low back, the cleavage, and the high cut left me feeling exposed, and I worried that it might be too much too soon. But the girls reassured me that I could handle it. Emma explained that it was one of 2 party dresses she had brought, and since she was using the other one, her favorite, I was stuck with this one. Next, they handed me a pair of very strappy, shiny scarlet sandals with a 3-inch spike heel. I was used to walking in heels, but these were definitely a step up. After fastening them tightly, I stumbled around the house for a while, getting used to the spike heel while the girls finished getting ready. By the time they were done, I felt pretty confident. We still had about an hour left, and we were almost ready. I was excited and nervous, eager to see how everything would come together. Emma had pulled half of the hair from each side of her face into a short ponytail in the back, leaving 2 long, straight sections to hang down beside her eyes. Lily had put soft waves in her long blonde hair, securing it with a light blue headband. She wore a powder blue, knee-length dress with spaghetti straps and a ruffled skirt. Emma looked stunning in a cream-colored loose but straight dress with a scooping neckline that made her look older and more sophisticated. They walked over to me and said, "One last thing. You need makeup." Surprisingly, this had been the part I'd been dreading the most. I had never worn makeup before, but I had seen how feminizing it could be, and I was afraid it would push me too far, maybe even make me unrecognizable. The girls brought out a large kit and began their work. The first step was covering up any blemishes, though my skin was surprisingly clear, so they only needed to use a little foundation. They moved on to my eyes, applying a warm pink eyeshadow to my lids and lightly over the area below my thin, curved eyebrows to create a soft effect. The shade beneath my brows was subtle, barely a pink shine, while my lids had a more dramatic, almost reflective pink shine. They then defined my eyebrows with a thick pencil, making them more shaped and defined.
Next, they took a thin-tipped tube and instructed me to hold still while they drew a medium-thin line along the rim of my eyes and on the lower surface, lining them in black to amplify the effect on my lashes. This was followed by 2 coats of black mascara, which lengthened, curled, and added weight to my lashes. With all the eye makeup, I found myself blinking and batting my eyes more than usual, and the girls giggled, saying how flirty I looked. Once my eyes were done, they moved on to my lips. They started by drawing a thin scarlet line around the edges of my lips, shaping the cupid's bow on the top and applying the line lower on my bottom lip to create a fuller, more naturally feminine look. Then they used a scarlet lip color, almost the exact shade as my dress, and applied it generously. They finished with several coats of shiny pink lip gloss, which made my now feminine mouth not only stand out more but also gave the impression that I had been all dolled up for the night. To round out the look, they applied some scarlet blush to my upper cheeks, and when they were done, the girls were satisfied with the transformation. I finally looked myself over in the full-length mirror, and was stunned. Before me stood a recognizable figure for sure, but one that seemed completed. I had seen this figure over the course of the summer, the past week especially, but never in such a perfect form. It was as if something had been unleashed from inside that had been trying to break out all along. After seeing this, I felt this. I tried to stammer out some words, but stopped myself when I began speaking in a feminine tone unintentionally. When I sat, I swept my dress forward and crossed my legs in a feminine manner. I scared myself because I had not been taught this. I just now realized I picked this up. I watched my hands move gracefully, swishing about, placing items of makeup in a small purse the girls had given to me. I saw my toenails shining at the end of my smooth, silky legs and out from the ends of the strappy sandals, and when I stood up to leave, I felt like a new person. This was how I had always been, and this was right.